Hi there, Stephen Petasky here from the Lushest Group, and I am so excited to be here because I'm on this amazing beach on the beautiful paradise of Kauai, giving you a destination spotlight about this beautiful place in the world. Today's episode is really focusing about the island as a whole, the real estate opportunities here, why we love it so much, and why it could be special for you. So I really hope you enjoy what you see. Now, if it's your first time to the show, thank you for coming and welcome. Honestly, it's been a wonderful journey kicking this thing off over the past month and hearing the great feedback about what people are looking for in buying a vacation home or selling a vacation home. So if you're curious about the why we are doing this, please go back to the first episode, check it out. It will give you a bit of our history, my history, and a better explanation about why we're shooting these videos from places in the world. If this is your second time watching the show or multiple times, thank you for coming back. I really think you're going to love today's episode. I hope that the waves in the background aren't too much of a distraction, or the birds. I'm currently the only one on this beach right now, which is one of the very special things about Kauai that we're going to cover later. Now, to kick off this show, I want to clear up a common misconception about Kauai, that it's the rainy island. Yes, it rains here. I'm going to explain and give some actual facts so it can set the expectations correctly about what you can realize when you're here potentially when it comes to rain or sun. But it's not raining all the time. As you can see, the sun's shining, it's absolutely beautiful out, which is very common here. But I want to clear it up and get some actual facts. So, it's not the rainy island, it's called the Garden Island. That's the other name for Kauai because it is so lush and so green. And that does come as a result of a higher degree of rainfall on particularly certain parts of the island. So usually we break up the island into two specific regions. You're going to have the South Shore, which I'm on, often referred to as the sunny South Shore in Poipu, or the North Shore, which is a more rainy spot, has a bit more rain to it, and that's the Princeville area. So the actual rain amount on the South Shore somewhere is around 30 inches per year. Now, to give perspective on what 30 inches means, let's go to the driest part of the Hawaiian Islands. That would be two specific spots, which effectively are desert-like conditions. That would be the Kohala Coast on the Big Island of Hawaii, and it would be the Wai'ale'ale and Kihei area of Maui. In those areas, they would average about 10 inches of rain per year. So to give perspective on the gap, 10 inches per rain desert, 30 inches per rain, it's not necessarily a rainforest here, but it rains a little bit more. Often when the rain comes, in the case of 30 inches per year, it will come in short bursts. So you'll see a lot more days like this, and then it might have a shower where a half an inch of rain will come, and that gets it all out in one shot. So really important to understand, the South Shore of Kauai is very consistent with other parts of the Hawaiian Islands in terms of annual rainfall, and very rare are you going to get a situation where you're sucked in for a week or two and you lose your vacation. So if you don't like rain, but you want to visit Kauai, I would focus on the South Shore where I'm at today. Now, the North Shore is a different story. That's the Princeville area. And this is an area that's had lots of attention over the years because it's beautiful and it's lush. It has the very famous Hanalei Bay. Recently, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan have purchased real estate there, so that's put it back on the map. And there's some really luxury experiences and hotels up there. But from a rain perspective, it does rain more. You would average between 60 to 85 inches of rain per year there. So that is quite a bit. And if you're going to go there, expect it to rain. It may be a drizzle, it may be a downpour, it may rain for a few days in a row. That is the actual reality of that part of the world and part of the island. But it does not make it bad. It's the pros and cons. What you get because of rain is you get the earth coming alive. You have this absolutely stunning paradise that's unlike any place I've ever been in the world. But you have to think about it through the lens that rain is part of the adventure and part of the experience. I hope that gives you a little perspective on the two parts of the island. So think South Shore, sunny, North Shore has intermittent rain and a higher degree of rainfall, but still absolutely beautiful because just all sorts of pros come along with that type of weather. Now, in the center of the island, on the peak of the mountain in the middle at 5,000 feet, it is in fact the rainiest place in the world. 460 inches of rain per year. That's 460. It's hard to even fathom how much rain that is, but that is nowhere near where you're going to vacation or travel to because you can't actually access it. But when people say Kauai is the rainiest place in the world, it's not inaccurate. In fact, there is a spot in Kauai that is. When you come to these places, it's vastly different. Hope that clears out that misconception. We absolutely love Kauai, and we sometimes do see rain here, but on this side of the island, it's pretty rare over the course of the year. Now, a question you may have is, why would I go to Kauai over other islands? What does it offer that's different and unique and special? Well, I think me being on this beach is a perfect illustration. This is a 5-minute hike off the road. This isn't driving 2 hours to some remote destination and then hiking into the bush. I am just off the main road on a beach all by myself. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. It's not like this is, 7 a.m. And this is very common for Kauai. There is so many phenomenal, incredible beaches here where you can go hike down, bring a cooler, bring a chair, and be the only one on the beach for the entire day. That is not common on places like Oahu and Maui. And I just want to be 100% clear. I'm not saying anything is better or worse, that this is better than Maui or Oahu or Big Island. They all have their own unique special attributes. Every Hawaiian island is amazing in its own paradise. But for Kauai, to get specific about the reasons why you may want to come here, you'll come here for the adventure, you'll come here for the pristine beaches, for the hiking, and all the other aspects that come with being a less populous and an island that has done a remarkable job on preserving its aloha spirit. It's preserving its authenticity. And that's what I love about this spot. Particularly the South Shore here, you don't see a lot of commonly known restaurants. Quite often there are locals running these amazing restaurants. You don't see the traditional grocery stores. You see farmers markets and the fish market and the bakery. And shopping that way is different. As a North American lifestyle, we're used to the big department stores, and they do exist 20, 30 minutes away. You can access that familiarity, but many parts of the island, they've deliberately prevented them from going up to preserve these amazing Hawaii authenticity that I find so special. Now, if you like old school Hawaii and you like the concept of that, you have to come try it out because it is one of the most, I would say, unique aspects of this particular island is seeing a bit more of original Hawaii versus maybe Hawaii that has seen a bit more of the mainland commercialization that exists on Oahu or Maui. Now, some people love that. Some people really appreciate the familiarity that comes with seeing the same grocery store in their hometown that they do here. So again, they all have their own pros and cons. This is what makes Kauai special. I would say one of the most unique adventures when people ask me about this particular island is the Nepali coast. The Nepali coast is a section of the island where you can't circumvent. So you can travel about 3/4 of the way around the island by vehicle, but there's a part of the island that's blocked off, and that's preserved as the Nepali coast. You would have seen this in the helicopter flying into Jurassic Park, you would see it in photos, you would see it in commercials. It's so commonly photographed in video because it is absolutely stunning. And there's lots of different ways to experience this adventure. You can do it by boat, and boats can actually go into these beautiful sea caves, which are just these remarkable canyons. It's absolutely phenomenal. You can do it by air, very common that way, obviously via seaplane or helicopter tours. And if you're adventurous, you can do it by foot. There's a multi-day hike that connects that part of the island that I have not done, but it's 100% on my bucket list. You need to be very well resourced and have all the right permits in order to do it, but it is supposed to be one of the coolest hikes in the world. So if you come here and you're looking for a unique attraction, I would highly encourage the Nepali coast. You can see it by land, air, or sea, and it is definitely one of the unique elements that they've done a great job preserving in this island and will be preserved forever, which is pretty darn special in my mind. So now that we've kind of set the stage that Kauai doesn't rain all the time, it has this amazing adventure, it's not very populous, it has this preserved authenticity of Hawaiian culture, which is very special. If all those things are kind of making you feel like, geez, that's a place I'd like to check out for myself, but what's it like from a real estate perspective, that's what this next section is about. When I look at real estate on Kauai, I look at it into two buckets, your South Shore and your North Shore. Very similar to how I presented the rainfall, where one part of the island is more lush and one's a bit drier. They are two distinct real estate markets. I'm going to talk about the North Shore first, and I'm going to shift down to the South Shore where I am today. North Shore Kauai. This is the Princeville area of the island. Absolutely beautiful, stunning. They have golf courses there, hotels. There's more hotels that are being built or renovated right now. So if you're looking for, call it a lush luxury paradise, Princeville would have it. Low density though. So from a real estate perspective, it's limited. There aren't huge communities being built. There's a lot of large estates, large farms, and because the estates are so vast, they tie up a lot of real estate. And the locals there have done a great job preserving that. They don't want to have it too populous or too high of density. So if you're looking to buy real estate there, because there are multiple different options from oceanfront condos to cottages closer to the ocean and then larger farm estates, 100% critical to get a broker who specializes in that part of the island. Not someone who maybe is good at all of Kauai, but someone who knows that part specifically, who lives there, knows the people. Because people are very protective of that local culture, they want to make sure that they're bringing in the right people and you get access to the right deals and to find something that's a perfect fit for you. We'll come back to broker connections at the end because, as you hear in all my episodes, that's one of the key components of a successful transaction and finding the right property is having correct representation. Shifting from the North Shore to the South Shore, Poipu is an area that definitely would be the most common tourist destination on the island. This would also on the South Shore include Lihue, and that's about 20 minutes away, and that's right adjacent to the airport. But we're going to focus on Poipu. They're very close, but Poipu is kind of that primary area. Poipu has multiple beautiful hotels, so it's very easy to book a room. You got the Sheraton, you got the Hyatt, and some really good spots you want to come to experience it. But they really have a vast offering of real estate down here, which I find really quite unique. Again, you could have a residential home, you could have a farm, you could have a higher density property, you could have a luxury condo, you could have a private club community, which is just up the road as well. So you have significant variant of options here to kind of pick the item that suits what you're looking for the most. Now, if you're looking for STVR, again, STVR is short-term vacation rentals. I've covered that in a previous episode. You want to know more about that, please check that out. Very informative if you're specifically looking to rent your property and create revenue. But from an STVR perspective in Kauai, there are some really great options. Kauai, like other islands, is an expensive place to acquire, an expensive place to operate when you buy a piece of real estate. Just the fact of the matter is, because it's such a special place in the world, you're going to pay a premium for it. Now that said, the premium is relative to what you're going to charge on a nightly basis for people to use your home. So if you come to rent here, you would also expect for it to be more expensive than a place, let's say, in Latin America or the Caribbean. So from a revenue perspective, there are some really great options here. There are ones that are part of luxury condo communities operated by a singular central sales booking system, or you can have your own property and VRBO it yourself through channels like VRBO or Airbnb or others. Nightly rates here on the island can capture anywhere from $250 a night to $4,000 a night. So there's plenty of varying degrees of options to kind of pick the vacation experience that's critical for your family, but all while being super close to the ocean. I'm only a 4-minute bike ride to this particular beach from Poipu, so you can get a sense of how close proximity is to some of the amazing adventure that exists in this area of the island. I'm going to highlight two communities for you just to give you an example of two different options and illustrate the various aspects of this particular part of real estate that you can actually buy here. The first one is Koloa Landing Resort. That is about 10 minutes up the road. It's a new luxury condo community. They're still actually building them right now as the resort is expanding. We've owned real estate before there in the past and one of our companies. And you will go to a place like this if you're looking for new, kind of a modern Hawaiian luxury flair and centralized management and ease of hassle-free living. You acquire your unit, it can go into a rental pool that's managed where rental revenues are split up between you and the rental agent. You can have property management, they have pools and restaurants and a spa and all these great aspects. So if you're the type of family looking for a great lock and leave experience, I would suggest it's one of the best on the island, and it's new and they still have products that are coming online. So that's a great spot overall to look at if you're considering a product like that if it suits your family from the call it that lock and leave perspective. The second community I'll focus on is a private club, and it's called Kukui'ula. Now Kukui'ula is hard to spell like most Hawaiian names are, but it's an absolutely phenomenal private club experience. I've spoken about private club experiences because although we do talk a lot about properties you can rent and create revenue from, private clubs is a unique, very special way of living. You would do it less for the revenue generation, even though you can rent your properties with very strict guidelines, but there is some rental opportunity. What is neat about it is called the legacy, the amenities, the family programming, the fitness classes, the member events. Private club communities offer something special and unique that rental programs just simply can't offer. So if you're someone's looking for more of a place to park some capital and create a program where you and your family get a chance to enjoy all the multiple aspects of private club membership living, I would look at that particular club because it's one of the most special places on this island, and it's the only place on the island that offers that type of club living. I hope those two examples provides an illustration of what you can buy. Now remember, this is Kauai, just like other parts in Hawaii. You can buy homes that are 50 years old, that are right on the beach and have pure waterfront living. You can buy stuff that's up the mountain where you have ranch style living or farm style. There's so many different angles here. So if you are looking to potentially visit the island and maybe you're considering an investment here, connect with us. We have amazing brokers here on the island that are world-class. They know their stuff and they focus on the micro markets that they reside in or they specialize in. When I speak about micro markets, and you'll probably hear this in other shows, we'll call it Kauai is one market. So technically one broker could represent you in the entire island. Then you have markets like Poipu, Aloha, Princeville. So those would be, call it, a sub-market of the main market. And then a micro market would be someone who specializes in a specific community. So someone who specializes specifically in kukui'ula or kuloa landing, or in oceanfront living, whatever it may be, or ranch living. So depending on what your tastes are, your needs are, we would connect you with an agent that specializes in exactly what you are looking for to make sure they can narrow down the best possible options for your family. So if you're looking for someone, ping us. We'll leave the email in the show notes so that we can get you squared away with someone who's awesome on the island, who's going to represent your interest to the best possible ability. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this destination spotlight as much as I did. For me, it was obviously a treat being on this beautiful beach, on this wonderful paradise. I hope that one day you get a chance to experience it as well. If you did like the show and you're interested in learning more, you can ping us, or more importantly, share this with other people. We are trying to get the message out to give you tools and information so you can be armed with all the right intel to make an informed decision if you're buying or selling real estate in these great places in the world. So thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world. Looking forward to seeing you in the next show. Bye for now.